Hey everyone, this is Dr. Amina Blazy, and today I'm actually going to be talking to you about Lexile scores. And as we get ready to go, we are just going to wait for a few participants to show up.
Looking for royalty-free
We are
music?
going to have a great time, so just be patient, and we are going to get started shortly. get started and let's talk a little bit about Lexile and Quantile scores. And some people aren't even aware of what these are, let alone that, guess what? There is a website now that will offer you a plethora of information about Lexile and Quantile scores. So you'll have to just give me a moment and just let me explain why I'm doing this. And the reason why I want to talk a little bit about Lexile and Quantile scores is because they're a way for you to allow your children or your students to gauge where they are today compared to where they need to be if they want to go directly to college or if they want to go directly into a career. And there are actually Lexile and Quantile scores that allow you to know if they're ready for that career or if they're ready for college. And a Lexile number is actually a reading score that allows students to see where they are. And a Quantile score is actually a number score. So if you're an educator, here's what's great. You actually can see these if you have a star reading or star math through Renaissance. You can see the Lexile and Quantile scores. You'll have to talk to your administrator, the person that's over it, to turn them on. Yes, they can turn them on in the settings. Not that difficult. And then if you are, use iReady, for example, you can actually see the Lexile and Quantile scores there too. So, excuse me. So I really wanted you to see that this Metametrics is a site that takes their data. It's an interval data source, and they work with other companies to allow the companies to create the Lexile and Quantile score. There is no such thing as a Lexile and Quantile exam. I will also say that in the state of California, that every student that takes the CAS, the California Assessment for Students' Performance and Progress, gets a Lexile and a Quantile score now. So, so 3rd through 8th grade and 11th graders get it as well, unless this year you decide you're going to test your 12th graders. But what's nice also about the assessment for California for 11th graders, that score actually is used now to get into the University of California schools and the Cal State schools. They don't need an SAT or an ACT score. So, excuse me. So I really kind of wanted to just kind of play around with this site. If you're in the state of California, you get some extra things for free because the state of California purchased it for every educator as long as you have an educator email. So I'm going to get there for you. And it's really kind of fun to kind of peruse and look around and decide, oh my gosh, this is actually amazing. So we're just going to kind of get right into it. I'm opening up my own resources so that I can use them as well, so that you can see them. And I have, so what I wanted to do first is I'm going to open up a resource that you are welcome to ask me for. I can email to you, but it's also on that website. You just got to look a little bit. So this is the Lexile framework. And what you'll notice is that in this framework, it says 200L. That's a Lexile score, but actually there's a BR score. It's called a beginning reader score. So these scores can come out, say you use STAR, the early literacy assessment, it will give you a beginning reader score. So these are the things that you'll see. I also, if you were to keep reading, it'll go over what they mean. You can actually, in this, the system that I'm going to show you, you're going to be able to actually look at how you can find books for the Lexile score. Yes, you can look for AR books as well. So this is just an overview of Lexile measures for books. Wow. So also what I have, which is nice, go back, is I need to go to my Lexile, see how so much stuff. So you have access to the Quantile and yes, just email me if you want it. It's in, or you can actually go to my, if you know me, you can email me. And my email is mjblazy@gmail or, and just email me directly. Wow, that is, ooh. And then now this one, you can actually see for the Quantile measure, they give you the EM score. So the EM score is the early mathematician. I love how they said it like that. And then once you get to a Q, that starts to tell you what you need. Now, actually, you need about a 1250 to be really ready for college. So these are just some of the areas that you can look at. I have introducing Lexile measures, what they are. It basically indicates the difficulty of materials a student can read and understand. And then a quantile shows what mathematical skills a student has mastered. Now, you see where it says Smarter Balance. So Smarter Balance is an assessment that the state gives, the California state gives, but all states give something. They can possibly give the SBAC or the Smarter Balance for Park. We give the CASP in the state of California. So this actually is a free resource. You probably can Google it, or you can just ask me about it. And then you'll see down here at the bottom, there is a site that we're going to kind of play around with a little bit. So that's just a little, there's a lot of information there. Again, if you go to my Nina J. Blasey Instagram, you can get all these resources there. You just have to fill out the form and you get the PDF. You get this whole folder. So what I kind of wanted to do a little bit, excuse me, wow, is I wanted to let's play. So you can select a site. You can go to Lexile and you can learn all about Lexile. You see that you have Lexile for parents and students, and then you have Lexile for educators. And I'm going to go back, and you can do the same thing for quantiles, and you can get information on quantile. And I almost wish that you could. And yes, you can message me on YouTube, and if you have questions or comments, you just let me know. But I will say that it's free for educators in California. But you can go in and parents get it free anywhere in the US. You don't get as much as an educator, but if you're a parent and an educator, wow. So let's just have a conversation around what this actually looks like. I'm actually pretty excited about this conversation because we're going to play with the Lexile Hub. Now, I am not signed in right now. The Lexile Hub, you can register. So let's say I wanted to register, and I wanted to register as an educator here. The reason why I didn't sign in is because I wanted you to see, and I'm going to blow this up. I wanted you to actually see. I have to make it a little bit smaller because I want you to see the states here. And maybe what I'll do is try to move it a little bit. And I don't think I can click on it, which is too bad. So you'll see that it's free for California, Nevada. You start to see that it's free for Texas. It's free for Illinois. I mean, think about this. It's free for Hawaii. So you start to see where a lot of the states, it is available for the Carolinas. It is available for for Georgia. So that is actually kind of exciting. And you want to register as an educator if you're an educator. So I'm going to let me go back so you can see that if I were to register, I can, again, you choose educator if you're an educator, choose parent if you're a parent, choose researcher if you just kind of want to look around and see what's happening and you want to kind of share this information. So I am going to share this with myself. So I you have to give me just a moment. I want to email myself so I can share it on Instagram, which didn't take too long, actually. Let me just quickly email myself as I move my picture out of the way. But I'm just going to go ahead and sign in so you can see what happens as for an educator. So I'm going to start from that perspective. And as an educator, you're going to see you're going to see that you have some things on the left side. And you can scroll here if you're here. If I go here, I can actually minimize just a little bit so you can see the whole screen. You're going to start to see, you see where it's green here. I hit the stars. You can find a book. You can look at Lexile grade level charts. You can look at text analyzer. You can look at a growth planner, Lexile career database. You can look at a word list. I highly recommend looking at word lists because if you look at the word list, it'll tell you as an educator what words students can be looking at. And we don't do that all the time, do we? But I do think it's imperative that we start to look at this information. So I'm going to kind of play around with the Lexile and Quantile. I'm going to go down to Quantile so you can see it. So you see that there's a summer challenge that you can do for students. You can do it as a teacher assistant for educators. It helps you as an educator. You have Quantile grade level charts. You have math at home, math skills and database, growth planner. Just some things you kind of want to look at. And some coffee because I want to wake up. It is 8 o'clock in the morning in California. So it is my hope that you'll kind of jump in, play around a little bit. I'm wanting to put this on my Instagram account, which I think is a good idea because I have a lot of people that are out here on Instagram. But you know what I want to do is just let me click on the growth for Quantile. You can see this for kindergarten. This is the expectation for kindergarten. And that means that the EM, early mathematician, we like that name. And these are the kids that are in the 50th percentile when they enter kindergarten. If they're in the 90th percentile, they have some number sense going on because they're at 190 quantile. And you can do a few things. So you can actually click on one grade. You can click on where they need to be at the end of the year, the beginning of the year, and let's click on all of them at the same time. Ooh, this is so powerful. It's so much fun. So at the beginning of the year, this is the expectation. Like the kids will come in around here. At the middle of the year, if they're still an early mathematician, this is where they are. But if they're in the 90th percentile, they're at what I would call 140 quantile. And then the end of the year, if they're still an early mathematician, you see that the number gets smaller. So you want to get it to 0 if they're an early mathematician. And then you have the 190. So again, this is the end of the year. And that's a lot to look at. So let's just for fun pick a grade. We're going to pick this grade. I'm still copying for YouTube because I want to put it on my Instagram account and kind of share it out with people. And let me see. So right now I'm looking at, just as a recap, this is where I started. I looked at Quantile framework. You can look at just the Quantile framework. You can start with metametrics. You can look at Lexile framework. You can look at Quantile framework, and then you can look at this globally. So as long as your country allows you to gain access, you can look at some things globally. And I believe anyone in the world, as long as their country gives them access, can actually, as a parent, log in and see something. And then, so what I want to do is let me just refresh and let you see that this is where I started with. So just kind of as a recap, I started with hub.lexile.com. I did log in. I'm going to, for fun, log out so you can see that if I go to register, there's this nice map that tells you if you're an educator, these are the states that have partnered with Lexile and Quantile tools. So when you register with your district email, your school site email. If you're a parent anywhere in these United States, you have access. And then if you're a researcher, I don't know what that means yet because I haven't tried, but play with it. Why not? So if I were to just sign in with my district email, this is what happens as a district. It is so much fun. So you can, again, the green is these are the Lexile tools that you get on the left side. This is the green. And then the blue, if you look down to the left here, these are the quantile measures So you can, and the reason why they're all highlighted for me, because I starred them. So if I start taking them off, they start to disappear on mine, but I'm just going to keep them highlighted because I like them all. And the one that I like to start with for teachers is to go ahead and go to the quantile grade level charts. A lot of people, in the United States, we tend to be okay with reading. I'm not saying it's great around the country or even in California, but I will say we have a deficit. And how amazing would it be if your children owned their Lexile score or their beginning reading score or their quantile score, or the younger students, their early mathematician scores? How profound would that be? So when you click on it as a parent, again, you can change the range here. You see that if they're in the 10 percentile, you see that it gives me that. I can just slide this little ruler over and I can get just the 10th and the 50th, or I can get I can even go here and go 25 percentile and 50th, or I can do 25 and 75 percentile. But it's my belief that we want our children, our own students, to really get to this point of 90th percentile. And then you can also, this is the end of the year, like they immediately say, this is where your students are supposed to be. This is where your child is supposed to be. So if you were to go to my Instagram, you can get all these resources. Just fill out my Instagram. It's Mina J. Blasey. And you'll get all the data. So if you just want to click on beginning of the year and remove that, you'll see, assuming that they come in at the 25th percentile, again, we'll just click on kinder just to make it a little bit easier. An early mathematician, yeah, this is where they are, 340. Now I'm going to go ahead and change this to a 50% so you can see that the number decreases for EF. The goal is to get them at 0 so we can start moving them into the positives for quantile scores or Q scores. So this is really an amazing tool for educators. And if you're a parent and an educator, how much fun is that? But it's my belief that children should own their Lexile and Quantile score. So if we were to just if we go to the, let's see, let me go back. No, that's not what I want to do. I'm going to go back and now let's just, for fun, go to the Lexile one, because you see where it says BR. This is a BR score, 160 Lexiles. But remember, BR is beginning reader. So beginning readers have this score. And typically the questions I will get are, well, how do I take this assessment? Is this assessment something that I can just take anywhere? No. One of the things you will have to do is you will have to get this score from someone from your district or your teacher. If they use Renaissance Learning, which is Star Reading and Math, they get a Lexile Quantile score. If they say, no, we don't use that. Yes, they do. They just have to go to the administrator and turn it on. And then if you use iReading or iReady for Lexile and Quantile, they can get the scores too. If they're not sure how, they can go to iReady and they tell you where to find it. You can send me an email at minajblasey at gmail.com or minajblasey@gmail.com, and I'll take it on iReady. I'll even tell you how to do it on Renaissance because we use both in the district that I work for. So this is just play around with this part. So one of the things that my recommendation as a teacher is to play with this, because you really want to understand what's happening. And this is a new feature, the career database. And I like doing this because now when you're teaching children, you give them an end goal. How amazing is it when you tell a child that they can actually own their quantile and Lexile scores? They can say, "Ooh, why not? Why shouldn't I know this?" I'm actually going to text some people that are asking me questions. I want them to actually come in to YouTube and ask me questions. But take a moment, and if you can get to the site, it's hub.lexile.com. It does have the Lexile and Quantiles. And you can actually look at some of these. Now, growth planner tends to be where I go with educators first, but here is what is absolutely amazing. Go into, yes, I'm texting someone, I'm giving them some information. But let's go in to the Quantile career database. So you can go, okay, who do I want to be? It looks like a lot to look through, but take a moment, breathe, like, oh my gosh, there's so much here. It tells you how an entry-level career demands mapped to the Quantile score, and where does the national and regional career database come from. So you're gonna read that at your leisure. So what you want to do is pick something, as teachers, we go here first, education and training. And we click on it and we say, okay, you could actually teach, once you click that, you can go, okay, it gives me some specifics. Maybe I want to teach, be an education administrator, kindergarten through second grade. I wish they would put science teacher, math teacher in here. I haven't seen that so far, but let's just go with education administration. So in search. I get so excited about this. Okay, so a doctorate level, 20 years. That's a lot, but this is the expectation. The expectation is that you need about 1,300 quantile score. I promise you, we did a lot of writing. So this would be the doctorate. You also, the median pay is 98,000. And the projected career growth is 4% increase, slower than average. And then projected career openings. There are going to be a projected career openings of 20,000 jobs. Okay, so this is something that if you're a teacher and you're like, I need to do something different and I'm ready to go into administration, this is that area. You might want to go, And then here's the fun part. You can click on state and it now tells you some more information. This is the median pay in the state of California, $131,000. It's 6% growth, projected career growth, more than the national projected career growth. I'm on over to California with this. And then the projected career opening. So 2,410 jobs between 2018 and 2028. Less than the national projected career openings, but that's okay. So this is, again, I will go back to it. I'm going to click on Quantile tools so you can see all of them. And then you can go down to this new feature and you can search the Quantile database. This time I wonder if I can just put in real estate. Ooh, real estate sales agent. It's under marketing. That helps me. So I was able to backtrack a little bit. And don't forget to subscribe. I can click search and it's going to tell me that if you need at least a high school degree, if you don't want to go to college, this might be for you, but don't think that a real estate agent doesn't do continuing ed. This is what happens. It's telling you that you at least need a 10,020 quantile score. The essential education, customer and personal services, clerical administration and management. Highest math course required is Algebra 1 and Algebra 2. In this state, it would be integrated math 1 and 2, California. Something to think about, right? So, and then this is the median. This is an honest living. This is a living where you say, I think that I would like to consider this. Now, this is how does this career compare nationally? Because I have a twin sister that's in Illinois. I'm going to click on the average pay or annually in the state of Illinois. Now, I know that there are real estate agents that make so much more here. So that's the median pay of $30,630, 5% increase over the next 10 years. And there's about 820 jobs. Now, that's not, I don't think that that's really true. And the reason why is because you can become a real estate agent and choose how you want to manage yourself and as an entrepreneur. or you can work under someone else, and that I don't really know all that, but that's something you might want to consider. So, and then in the state of California, let's just go there and see what the average is. So you can make more money in the state of California, but most of you know that the cost of living here is interesting. So this site is just amazing to look at, because now you can have conversations with children, especially children as they get older in middle and high school, to say, okay, what do you want to do? You could do this as a class activity. And then they go, okay, so now I have goals. I don't want to go to college, but this is viable. I want to do something and have fun with what I want to do in my life. So I'm gonna send this information to someone else because they keep asking me. And if you're in, please share, ask questions. And there's always, would love to hear your questions so that we can do a Q&A around this. You can always send me a message. If you're on Clubhouse, I do talk about this, but the difference is I don't talk about it where you can see it. I may do a Clubhouse room where I do it live here, so you have to be at a computer, and I will explain it that way as well. Oh, I got a frog in my throat. Okay. Could be the weather. It's getting a little bit cooler. And when I say cooler, it's 70 degrees today. It's freezing for us here in California. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to Quantile tools. And I just went into this new feature about the Quantile career database. And if you're a parent and you're thinking, I really want to know how to get my measures, again, just as a recap, you can get that Quantile or Lexile score from your school site. If students are in grades 3rd through 8th grade, for example, in the state of California, the state gives that when they do it at the end of the summative assessment. It's our Smarter Balance Assessment Consortium, or CAS, California Assessment for Student Performance and Progress. And then you also can get it if they do a local assessment, if they use iReady, and if they use Star Reading and Math. There are other resources you have to message me that I can share with you, but there are other places that do this assessment. There is no such thing as a Lexile Quantile assessment for now. What happens is the assessments are the Metametrics. This company here, Metametrics, actually works with other assessment or universal screeners, and they use their data and come up with a Lexile score and a Quantile score. So Lexile is reading scores, and then Quantile scores are math scores. So I want to go back to and open up one of my resources that I offer. If you log in, if you go to Instagram and you fill out the form, you'll get all of these. And the one that I recommend is this one. You can open it anywhere, and I give you the Lexile measure for reading, tools that support reading instruction. I give you the Lexile framework. What is that? For listening. And yes, there's a Lexile framework for listening. You didn't know? Yes, there is. And then there's Quantile measures for mathematics and what to do with Quantile measures. And then the link for Metametrics. All of that is in here so that you can just click. And then I went ahead and downloaded some other resources for you so that you can just grab it and go. And let's just go back to fun time. So I am going to log out just to give you a recap. And I'm going to go into it's hub.lexile.com. And when you go here, the hub.lexile.com, and we'll log out so you can see what happens. So when you go to sign in, that's typically, let's go to register. It gives you a map of all the states that are partnered with Metametrics. So if you're an educator, this is a dream. It's a dream. If you are an educator, this right here is something you should have. You should have this because it's free. your state pays for it. And so you can see that Nevada and California, Texas, you see that Illinois has it, and the state next to it, Indiana, the Carolinas. So this is a profound thing that for every parent in the United States, you get it for free too, which is a wonderful, wonderful thing. So now I'll just re-sign in, and when I sign in, I get more from, this is what you typically get, but if you're an educator, you get all of this for fun. And if you want to just find a book for your child, or if you want to see the Lexile and grade level charts that I went over, you can see that a beginning reader, if they're at the 50th percentile, is here. This is a negative number, not necessarily, we don't want to really think of it as a negative number, but it is, because if I were to go down to the 10%, you see the number is bigger. The goal is to get closer to 0 so that we know that your child is on the positive side of Lexiles. And then if I wanted to find a book, look at how much fun this is. You could do this with your students. You could let them see it. They can do this with you, and you can pick science fiction and fantasy, science and technology. Yes, it has book interest for English language learners in a series. It has subcategories here. This is something that you want to play around with. But look, it gives you an example of a Lexile measure. And you can put, do I want this to be for 2nd grade? Do I want it to be easy, just right, or difficult? No, we don't. And it'll tell you, like, this is easy. So now you know that it gives you the range. If you put just right, so a 2nd grader can read anywhere between 15 Lexiles and 545 Lexiles. And if it's difficult, maybe the beginning reader is at, it's difficult. You have a beginning reader that's in 2nd grade that needs some intervention because they're at a 30, beginning reader 330 Lexile. And you might want to read it to them, because reading to them, this is when you're reading to the classroom. So you have a range of reading, and you're still giving students the content, but you're not putting them through the agony of having to read it. So I highly recommend that. And yes, play around with it. It tells you if it's adult directed, high, low, illustrated, guided, non-conforming, beginning reader, graphic novel, meaning like some type of comics. Gosh, couldn't even find that word. And then it'll give you the Lexile vocabulary by chapter. And that's just for fun. So now I'm going to go back, and I am going to click on the word list. This is what I love. It gives you a word list. And so let's say you want it in a spreadsheet or PDF or word frequency. You can click on 1st grade. You can click on science. You can click on words only or words and frequency. You can click on PDF and click on, let's click on it and see what happens. And I'm going to open it. And it gives me words that you should be working on outside of just the dull sight words. And they should have these words as well. So really think about, and please engage, kind of, ask me questions. I'd be more than happy to help you with that and really talk. It's a lot to look at, but every teacher should try to get in, see what you have access to. Again, like I said, not every state has access for free, but it's certainly something, if you're a board member or if you're at the state level, I really think that you should be trying to get this for your educators. Now, I am now going to log out and register as parent. I am in the United States. It's asking me for the state I'm in. And again, maybe I should click on roll. Yes, click on roll. I did that. And passwords must match. What do you mean? They do match. I don't know. Let's try. So we're going to create an account. See if it gets mad at me. minimum of 8 characters. Oh, okay. They're being special. Oh, see, I did it right. Okay, so now we create an account. This is, oh, I didn't mean to do it as an educator. No, 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 I meant to click parent. Ooh, it's not gonna give it to you. Well, at least here's what I noticed. I noticed that because it's Gmail account, it's giving me what it would get as a parent. So I'm actually not going to even do that. I'm going to re-register and click a different email that I want to actually click parent. I don't want to do that. Sorry about that. Let's do this faster. United States, California, parent, create account. Now I need to log into my email, which is so much fun. Okay, and I'm clicking on it. It should let me in now. Of course it did, but it did it over here. So let's try it. Let's see it from the parent's perspective. Okay, so this is from the parent's perspective, and it gives you a quick tutorial, which I recommend looking at. Now, free non-registered, pre-registered, and you could upgrade for $18 a year. Yeah, you need to buy that. Of course, that's optional. That's your choice. I would do it as a parent, but if I do current, this is where I am. Not going to pay for it, but it will give you an upgrade, advanced features to support student instruction in college and career readiness. I'm going to guess that it gives you, if you are a homeschool parent, you need to do this. This is something you have to do. And so this is, you basically get some basic features like math skill database, which is fine. I don't think this is enough because even as an educator, if I was doing this, I would know as an educator, this is a lot to look at. And I would be looking at, okay, so I'm looking at, even put in here, I know that I'm looking at base 10. Like you really would need to know what these acronyms look like. You can Google Common Core State Standards if you wanted to. You can do keyword search, but this isn't enough. I'm going to say that if it's a teacher assistant, but I'm just going to tell you as a parent and as an educator, you should purchase this, especially if you're homeschool. And I know it's $18 a year. But just don't buy Starbucks for a couple of months. You know who you are. So I'm going to get out of this one and go into my teacher account. It's free for teachers in the United States, as long as you are, of course, in, this area. So if I go back, if I were to go to register, it tells me the states that these are the states that partner with Metametrics. So it's my opinion that you should do this. So I am totally excited that you joined me today. I will be doing more of this. I will do it again. Next time I will go live on Facebook. And I just am excited that you came today. I appreciate you. I'm going to stop sharing. Thank you. I'm Dr. Nina Blazey. I thank you for coming and just have a wonderful, wonderful day and now with family. Thank you. you.